Today by my good friend, Mr. Walker, Mr. Adam Walker. Adam, how you doing there?
Unbelievable. How about yourself?
Oh, that's great, man. I'm just happy to see your face there virtually, man. You know, with this pandemic, you never know, man. We hope we get to see our friends again, but this thing is it's been something that we've never seen before. I hope we never see it again. You know, it's like the worst play we've ever made, at least for me. you know, kind of nightmare plays, but you're looking good. How's things been going business wise and family? Everybody's safe and healthy and
Yeah, everyone is safe and healthy. The pandemic ran through the house right around Thanksgiving. My wife and my youngest son tested positive, but it wasn't in a bad way, especially from the stories I've been hearing. The business is actually was strong over this last year, you know, with us serving essential customers, you know, Procter and Gamble's of the world with a lot of home care and things of that nature. When you start talking about Tide and bleach and things that you need every day, I was doing all the packaging for it. And in regards to me, I gained some Corona 19 pounds. I'm trying to shake them off right now. And as you can see by my afro and beard, I get my Frederick Douglass look on because I'm not going to the barbershop every week. But other than that, all is well.
well, that's a beautiful thing. And you mentioned a little bit about your business, and I would like for you to go into a little bit more detail, if you will, to share with those in the listening audience out there exactly what you're doing today in business.
Excellent. Well, I'm the founder, chairman, and CEO of Summit Packaging Solutions. At Summit, our mission is to protect the brands of our customers by providing packaging solutions you can trust. Starting at the very beginning of the supply chain with research and development and design, we hold 5 structural design patents on our corrugated boxes. We have a patent for one of our processes. That's what allows us to separate from our competition. And what I like to say is we synchronize the supply chain around customization and contract packaging. And what that allows us to do is to reduce supply chain time. We've had success reducing supply chain time from 60 days to under 30 days, as well as cutting inventory from over 100 days down to under 30 days as well. And what that does is it puts working capital, puts money back in our customers' pockets. So if you're ever in need to protect your product while preserving your brands, call Summit Packaging Solutions, because we are exceeding greatness in and out of the box.
There you go. That's a good one, man. I see you can also do some commercials there too. You got the voice.
Hey, man, you know you have to do a little bit of everything. I cover kickoffs for a living in the NFL, so you know I still cover kickoffs in business.
What they say, the more you can do, the longer you can stay.
You got it. Hard to get rid of you.
That works in business. I see. So Adam, I know there were a couple things we wanted to talk to you in particular about, and I wanted to get right into it because we're behind on some of the interviews, but certainly not all of them. But when you talk about business and you talk about the things that you've done in the past and what you're currently doing, I know leadership is extremely important in both football and in business. And maybe you could speak a little bit about that, if you will, about how you feel about that as it relates to leadership in business. Right. So important.
And that's a great point on leadership. And you know, and we'll talk the difference of mentorship and sponsorship, but I've been mentored by some of the greats, including William V. Campbell, or by many know him by Bill Campbell. And he's called the quiet coach of Silicon Valley. Matter of fact, the founders of Google just wrote a book about him called $1 Trillion Coach, the $1 Trillion Coach. Mr. Campbell is from my hometown of Homestead, Pennsylvania, 6 miles outside of Pittsburgh. He passed away in 2016, but he was one that always told me, he said, Adam, you must understand about leadership. He said, your title, if it's CEO, president, manager, any type of boss, he said, your title only makes you a manager. Your people make you a leader. And then just to define that again is management is about getting people to do something for you. leadership is about getting people to do something for themselves. So leadership is about making things better. Management is about keeping everything together.
Wow, wow.
Excellent.
Now, did you find that you had good leaders both on the field and off the field as well in your life personally?
I've had great leaders and some terrible leaders. You know, like I said, be that title piece. I've had leaders just wanted the respect because of their title. I've had leaders, and you don't have to be leader by position. Again, you can have leaders on your team that are, you don't want to say, that have a lesser title than you. You can be the custodian of the school, of the team, and be a leader. You can be that special teams guy that actually leads in the running back room. And you lead by doing as well. You know, we learn many ways, but you lead many ways as well. We learn by, we learn auditory by hearing, kinesthetic by doing, and visual by seeing, and then repeating it. But what leaders do, great leaders do, is they make sure the culture is correct. You know, people talk about the New England Patriots and the Patriot way and the culture. I played for the 49ers, and back when I played in the 90s, everyone talked about our culture. But the culture, was set. Mr. DeBartolo and Bill Walsh and George Seifert wanted the culture to be a certain way, but it was actually the players who put that culture in motion to where the where we were able to continue to go and move year after year after players came in and came out, because that foundation was put together by the players.
Yeah, and I think it's certainly, when I look back at my experience, I think it's very important to realize that you can get that leadership, you know, from the players as well. And I think New England, who everybody's talking about, was it Tom Brady or was it Bill Belichick? You know, I think there are people that are struggling, that where was that leadership coming from? What was that culture built around? You know, who really was, you know, the most important component to that? And I think when you got two people who are great leaders, you know, they too have to have a chemistry in which they develop a culture that's going to be beneficial to the team, and not that it's one or the other. Because I'm sure when you run a business, I'm sure you want your people to all feel comfortable with their leader, and that leader is, of course, developing a culture that's beneficial to everybody and going to garner their best efforts in developing your product and service and getting it out to the marketplace.
And to develop that culture, it all starts with trust. Trust is the foundation. One of the things we always talk about in our businesses, in our relationships and with each other, is trust, transparency, and over communication. So, you know, the 5 dysfunctions of a team say it very well, is starting with trust, then having that, there's a such thing as healthy conflict, being able to demand debate. A leader demands debate. A leader doesn't just say, hey, do it this way. A leader takes in the ideas, opinions from everyone. But the General Colin Powell said, hey, challenge me, tell me I'm wrong, give me a solution that you think is better. He said, but there'll come a time that me as the leader, I'll have to stop and make a decision. Once I make the decision, we must come together as one team and execute together.
Wow.
Excellent. Dynamite.
So, so Adam, you know, you talked to us about the business, and you talked to us about, you know, the importance of leadership. But you got into this business. Was this your first business right after your career was over?
No. So what many may not know, if you read my bio, it sounds impressive. You know, 7 years in the NFL, special teams captain, Super Bowl champ, corporate America, business executive, entrepreneur, and many awards on that side. But coming out of college, I was an undrafted free agent. My first 2 years, I was cut 12 times. That's like you guys getting fired once every 2 months from your job. And you know how painful that could be. As a matter of fact, one of the reporters came up to me in the locker room in San Francisco, and he said, Adam, are you coming or are you going? I can't keep up. They seem to treat you like a boomerang. Every time they throw you away, you find your way back here. He said, how in the world do you sleep at night? I looked at him, I said, sleep? I said, well, I sleep like a baby. I wake up every 2 hours crying. So you know how that's painful. But because of that, my mom, first time I got cut, she said, "Okay, son, what are you going to do now?" I said, "Mom, they're going to call me back." She said, "When?" I said, "I don't know." She said, "Well, take the weekend and get that out your system, and you need to go get a job." So I was always preparing for this day. You know, when I played in the NFL, I always had a job in the off season. When I worked in corporate America, just like playing football, you know, when I was in San Francisco, we started off and we had our first 10, 15 plays. And on first down, we knew if we picked up 5 yards, we already knew what we were running on second down. So when I was in corporate America, the job I had, I wasn't satisfied with. So I was always knowing I had to execute and do well what I was doing, but I was looking at what's next and preparing for that, you know, preparing for the job that I wanted. And then when it was time for me to break out on my own, just like football, there were many wins and lessons. I'll say, I don't want to say losses because I learned from each and every one of them. So I win or learn on that side. And then I am where I am today. And this is probably my fourth business, but I was able to sell 2 well, and one went by the wayside many years ago, but there's been struggles and lessons through all of them.
Wait, you know, Adam, one thing that I like for sure is the fact that, you know, players like you and myself, we get a little gray on us, and that means we've been around a little bit, you know, and so we can share our experiences with the younger players. Not that they always want to listen, but at least we can share with them. So you talked about, you know, like playing ball, you know, we got the first 10 plays scripted. We're prepared for that next play. Do you find that you would share with young players that they should start their preparation for their transition early in their careers, or you think they should focus totally on that career of playing football and not let any outside distractions, like you got to get another job someplace else sometime down the road?
From where I sit, tomorrow's never promised to you. So you need to start planning for your transition in high school, you know, and putting those blocks together. When you start talking about your network, I was just on the panel before, that network, your people, when you're playing football, is you have an opportune time to meet great people and start building a relationship with them while you're playing. Because when you finish playing, you lose 80% of those contacts, not because you don't have their number, but because they won't take your call. So you need to build those relationships early and start understanding what's next. Those guys you're around when you're at autograph signings, when you have speaking events, it's time to ask, how did you do that? How did you get where you are? You know, Proverbs 4:7 says, wisdom is the principal thing. Seek wisdom, all that get understanding. The book of Adam says you get wisdom one or 2 ways: the long and painful route, making your own mistakes, or taking a shortcut, which there is a shortcut, and that's learning from someone else who's already gotten it right.
I'm glad you shared that. I'm glad you shared that. I'm going to ask this last question. I'm going to turn it over to Kirk because it looks like I got to get some, I need some energy here. It looks like my battery's a little low on my technology here. But Adam, one thing I just want to share with you, because different people have different experiences. And I recall that in the off season when I was in Philadelphia, it was probably about my 5th year with the Eagles. No, going into my 6th year, which I didn't finish because I ended up getting cut. He released me. But we had a new coach and he came in the off season. His name was Buddy Ryan. And I, my attorney, my agent lived right there. I mean, worked right there in the city where I worked at. And then I had started developing relationships, business relationships. In fact, I had started my first company. We were in the printing business. And so what I would do is I would get up in the morning in the off season and I would make some sales calls, you know, for the printing company. And then I would come in later in the afternoon, you know, to go work out. And it was the off season. It wasn't required of us to do that. You know this, Adam. Yep. And so one day, Buddy Ryan walks up to me, you know, first time he ever meets me, and shakes my hand and tells me that somebody else, well, Todd Bell wants my job. My friend, God bless his soul in heaven. Todd Bell wants my job. And, you know, I knew, I said, well, he doesn't want my job. You want him to have my job. You know, he got a job, you know. But what he said, he asked me, where had I been? And I told him, well, I had a meeting, with my boss. And he said, your boss, I'm your boss. And that just didn't fit well with me at all because, this was a short-term work experience is what I call an athletic career. It's not a career. It ain't gonna be 30 years. You ain't you're gonna retire, but not the typical business. You're going to have some type of employment or entrepreneurship. And so it's just refreshing to me to hear another one of my fellow colleagues, I'm going to say, share that same information for the next generation. Is you got to start preparing to do something, like you said, in high school. Consider it just like you think you like to go to college and you like to play pro ball. Think about, okay, what kind of work am I going to do when that all ends? Because it's going to end. And the sooner you get started and prepare yourself for that, I think that'll make that road, a few less bumps you'll go over, because there's going to be a couple rocks on the road.
Oh, there'll be many. And one of the great quotes from the man right behind you, Ali, said, "It's not the mountain ahead that wears you out; it's the pebble in your shoe." And growing up when we did, there's many times you go running through the parking lot full of cinders and pebbles. Once that little pebble gets in your shoe, woo,
yeah,
it's trouble.
And it's just small. It's just small. You're right. It's just small,
yep.
but it caused a lot of pain. A lot of pain. Well, Adam, I certainly appreciate every time I get a chance to spend some time with you. This is probably my I'm gonna say 2008. So maybe my 10th, 11th P&E, and you've been around quite a few too. So we always appreciate your support and the wisdom that you share with the young men out there. And I see the helmet over your shoulder there. So I got to ask, man, have you seen my hero, my colleague, same class, Ronnie Lott? How's Ronnie doing, man?
Ronnie's doing unbelievably well. I spoke with him yesterday.
Oh, that's good, man. Next time you speak to him, let him know I ask about him, man, because very few times, when guys play together, are we willing to give each other that much credit? But man, let me tell you, there was never any better than Ronnie. Never.
And see, what people don't know, I'm in this organization called Young Presidents Organization, YPO. Something I learned about later that many athletes don't know anything about, many African Americans really don't know anything about. It's a membership that 22,000 members globally. And there's a group here in the US. The only other person from the NFL that's in there is Ronnie Lott and Jed York, the president of the 49ers. That's it that I can find. There may be one or two others, but I haven't found any. But I never played with Ronnie. But one day when I met Ronnie, we had a great conversation many years ago on one of the 49er reunions. And then 4 or 5 years later, I found him on a list. I sent him an email. He emailed me within 12 hours, probably just because he was probably asleep when I sent it to him the first time being on the West Coast. And he's been like my big brother, he's been my big brother. He's been a coach for me. He's been a mentor for me, shared with me a lot of experiences he had in business and life as well. So unbelievable guy. Well, I mean, the best to ever do it. And that's on and off the field.
Yeah. I admire Ronnie from day one. We were coming out of high school All-Americans. I went to Ohio State. He went to USC. We played them in the Rose Bowl. We were a college team playing against a pro team because their entire team probably is like Hall of Famers. Ronnie and Dennis Smith was in that secondary together. Chip Van, the Matthews guy. They had two. Never has there ever been in the history of college football been two Heisman Trophy winners in the same backfield on the field at the same time. And that, of course, was Charles White and Marcus Allen.
Yep.
And then Anthony Munoz. So, I mean, it's just a list of, like I said, it was a pro team playing against a college team. So unfair, but they did it anyway. and they won the game, so deservingly. But it's, as I said, Adam, it's always good to see. I want to ask you if there's a couple of things out there that you might, message you might want to leave with the young men out there that are preparing, to one day hang up the cleats and to do some things that are special, that they feel is special. What message might you leave for them in terms of your experiences, what you might do again the same way, or you might do different?
Well, one thing I will say, because we always talk about mentorship, and as athletes and things, some of us have been mentored to death, meaning some of us have told, don't do that, do this. Here's a better way to do X, Y, and Z. And mentorship is needed. But in order to move the change and help with economics, the future for our young men is we need more sponsorship. Sponsorship is about a leader proactively thinking about someone and helping them get ahead. And what I mean by that is athletes, we're trying to go, and you know this, after football, even when you have your plan and you go into the meeting room, many times the customer, the prospect wants to talk football.
Yeah.
Many times they don't respect your business savvy or
Right.
your knowledge. So a lot of times you need someone to go out on that limb, grab you by the hand and go into that meeting room with you and say, this is my guy. He needs the opportunity. I have his back. Give him a chance. So
Yeah.
not only do we need mentors, look for sponsors. I challenge you and those in position that are on this broadcast to find two people, not to mentor, but to sponsor, to make sure that we want to be responsible about moving someone ahead.
Okay.
Excellent.
Yeah. Well, Kirk, I'm gonna let you speak with Adam. I've taken up the majority of our time, and like I
Sure,
said,
sure.
I need a little juice here, so I know you've got a couple things you want
No,
to say.
you
I'm gonna
covered a
return-
lot, and it's always excellent, Adam. I mean, phenomenal. Just hearing you break down your journey. One of the things a theme that resonates for me while you were playing, transitioning out, starting some businesses where you are today, giving back is attitude. It's an intangible, but can you speak to, for the young folks who are watching, the importance of the proper mindset and attitude and having the right attitude and overcoming the unknowns and the obstacles?
Well, you hit it great. That's a great piece, because I always say, and I tell my team at the office, I tell my children, I tell anyone that'll listen, that attitude is a choice. Attitude, when you start talking about the mindset, we choose to be happy or sad.
Right.
We choose to be angry. We choose not to speak to someone on the field or in that business environment. Some things can change your attitude as well. Others, the outside forces, can change and almost push you into having improper attitude. So just understand, you don't listen to the outsiders. 99% of the people may be telling you what you can or cannot do, that you won't be successful. Believe me, I heard it all the time. Don't be discouraged by the 99% of the people that tell you what you can't do.
You did hear it.
Yes. Oh, and I still hear it now.
I think that's important. I think that's important for people to hear. So many times, like you said, we can read our Vitas, our resumes, our business, accomplishments, and it can be a bit alarming or disarming for some folks that, man, they just been doing nothing but hitting singles, doubles, triples, and home runs, and hasn't been striking out.
Right. The naysayers is always there. I mean, you're going to hear it from your competition. You're going to hear it from the people you work with. You're going to hear it from your bankers, your lenders, your customers. So like I said, don't be discouraged by the 99% of the people that say you can't do it. Be encouraged by that one person that says you can get it done. Because no matter what, we're all athletes. We love the sound of the crowd, and we need cheerleaders. Right. So surround yourself with some folks that you know that are going to be your cheerleaders, that can help encourage you and lift you up during these times that may push you to having a bad attitude.
Can you speak to the quote, your actions are speaking so loudly, I can't hear what you're saying?
That is so funny. As my mom used to say that all the time. So it's what you do. Like, you don't have to say a word. You heard the action speak louder than words. My mom used to say, what you do rings so loud in my ear, I can't hear what you're saying. So it's all about executing the plan and bringing home results. You're going to have a result whether you like it or not. So you may as well bring home the positive results, the good results, the results that are going to make life better, not only for you, but for others. Because when you help others, it comes back to you.
Excellent. Where's the line between pride, having pride in what you do, and commitment that's generated out of that, and being humble?
Well, pride is one of the deadly sins. So, and they always say pride cometh before the fall. But being humble, having a sense of humility, allows you to be approachable. And sometimes there is someone out there, whether you believe it or not, someone does want to help, because by nature, a lot of us are givers. I mean, you have givers and takers, but there are givers out there, and there are a lot of people that genuinely want to help and want to see you succeed. And having that humble spirit, along with that hard work ethic, along with being prepared, will allow you to move forward. Another quote my mom used to always say is, when opportunity knocks, it's too late to get ready. So stay ready, and you'll never have to get ready a day in your life. And that preparation is a big key to that.
Adam, was asking for help hard for you? Do you think it's hard for some athletes that are at the top of their game in the NFL and top of life, and economically things are working? And, not to say that pro athletes in general have everything to get, we're human, so we all have issues and different issues, but so much when you're at the top of your game, and but now you're researching, you're doing what folks are telling you, you're looking at other career alternatives or options and this and that. Did you find it difficult to kind of have a rookie mindset?
Well, early on, a lot of athletes, like you said, especially the great ones, don't necessarily ask for help, because one, they've been blessed with a gift. Two, you're not going to make it to the pros without working hard. And then you usually have a coach. And now there's multiple coaches, position coach, offense, defense coordinators, nutrition coaches, strength and conditioning coaches. So the help many times comes from them. So afterwards, when you go into life after football, you're not surrounded by all of the coaches and those that want your best, have your best interest in hand. That's where I think it's difficult for many guys who have transitioned or transitioning to that next phase, is they don't have that coach. So that's where that coach, that mentor, that sponsor come into play. And for me, I reached out because I knew I needed help to get to that next phase. And many times, we talked about it earlier about pride. Don't let your pride get in the way. Right. Humble yourselves in front of others and say, I haven't been here before. You have. Help me get to where, this is where I want to go. Help me get there. So if you go there and maximize the opportunity, maximize your time, like I said, people genuinely really want to help you.
That's right. Hey, Adam, we're going to need to wrap, but man, like I said, I wish we had 8 hours, because we could sponge up a lot of really great wisdom from your experiences and whatnot, on not just leadership, but just the economics of off the field and business success and helping people find a niche. But we really want to thank you for your time. I think I actually met you at MIST at the event center in Harlem when you were on a panel there the first time.
Yes. Yep. That was in 2014.
Yep. And just really appreciate you coming back and continuing to do what you do and be generously willing to share of your experiences and your time. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it, and I'm just a phone call away.
Great. Thanks, Adam.
Awesome.
Appreciate
Thank
that.